Good afternoon to everyone in this part of the world. Good morning and good evening to those tuning in from abroad. I would like to welcome you all to the 16th edition of our Mentoring Talks series and the 4th edition of the virtual mentoring lectureship via WebEx. As Albert Einstein once said, quote, "A ship is always safe at the shore, but that is not what it is built for," end of quote. You can choose courage, or you can choose to stay in your own shore, your comfort zone. But your comfort zone is your danger zone. And when you stay in it, you will feel familiar, safe, and at ease. But it is then that you will have to ask yourself, are you really happy or just comfortable? Everything you want will be on the other side of fear, and that is the only place worth living. You will be afraid, but fear has this ability to push you beyond your comfort zone so you can come back even stronger. Here at the American University of Beirut, AUB in Lebanon, our transformative education drive disagrees with the saying, keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. We believe that by sharing their fears, our mentors will be able to provide inspiration, confidence, and determination. Our series of mentoring talks calls on the authenticity of our mentors. Our speakers are all individuals who care about others and strive to establish a trusting relationship, particularly with the young minds. Our guest today is the current Global Channel Chief at Dell Technologies in Canada, Mrs. Rola Dagher. After previously holding various sales leadership roles at Dell and Bell Canada, Rola became president of Cisco Canada for 3 years before assuming her current position. She has worked with some of the brightest minds in the technology industry and is shown for her ability to effectively get things done and her incredible desire to win. Rola believes in diversity of thought and has made it her mission to empower, support, and foster diverse talent. Her commitment to empowering women is shown through her recognition as one of the 2020 Top 25 Women of Influence by WXN, as one of Canada's most powerful women, Top 100, and by Women in Communications and Technology, WCT, as the 2019 Woman of the Year. She was selected as one of RBC's Top 25 Canadian immigrant winners for 2019, was named the Lady of the Cedar by the Lebanese Embassy in Canada, and received the 2018 Leadership Award from the Lebanese Chamber Business of Commerce. But let's take a moment and go back in time to when she was a young girl in Lebanon. She was raised in a war zone and has spent most of her early life in a bomb shelter as one of 6 daughters in a small Lebanese village, Dahr al-Mghara. She escaped Lebanon at the age of 17 with nothing but a vision and immigrated to Canada, although she didn't speak a word of English. She left her comfort zone with no assurance and never looked back. Today, our philosophy can be modeled by the following. Leadership is not simply a role that you fill. It's an action that you take each and every day. For her, 3 things distinguish a great leader: empower, inspire, impact. Without further ado, I shall now leave the floor entirely to the lady of the hour for her to explain her journey, paved first by upsets and defeats and ultimately towards success. So we may all learn together how she has moved through hardship to the stars. Rola, the floor is yours.
Wow, Bilal, I've got goosebumps. أول شيء allow me بحكي بالعربي شوي. بفتخر أنا اليوم وكل يوم إنه I have the honor أحكي مع كل شخص لبناني على الكول today. كنت أنا وصغيري وقت البابا والماما يمرقونا من حد الجامعة أطلع بالجامعة وأقول لأيوبي how smart do you have to be and how privileged do you have to be there, because I never had the opportunity. And I look at you today, all of you, and I will say that هجرونا من لبنان وطلعوا لبنان طلعوا كتير لبنانية من لبنان، بس أنا بقلكم من كل قلبي إنه طلعونا من لبنان، بس ما حدا بيقدر يطلع لبنان من قلبي خصوصا. So thank you for the amazing words, Bilal, and I know Muhammad is on as well. He's our technical guy, so thank you in advance. And thank you for taking the time to be with me. I can't tell you how humbled and honored to be speaking to all of you. This is the biggest accomplishment for me as a Lebanese woman leader, to be able to give my story back to all of you, because my story could help and could inspire every single person on this call. I come today as an extremely proud Lebanese. Everybody that knows in Canada, in the world, when I speak, I start by saying I'm the proudest Lebanese you'll meet in Canada and the most grateful Canadian, because that got me to where I am, this land of opportunity and land of hope. Back when I found my passport a few months ago, I saw the first stamp when I entered Canada was March in 1989. So I come today as one, but I stand for thousands of us, all Lebanese people across the world and in Lebanon. من ضيعة صغيرة لبلاد كبيرة, من bomb shelter to the C-suite. Bilal gave you a bit about me, وضيعتي وبسأل ظهر المغارة. My heart skipped a beat, because I love where I come from. I honor it, and I wish those days could be back, because that's who made me the person I am today. You know, it's funny living in Dahr al-Mghara. There was a small town, كلها من بيت داغر. My father decided to leave the town and get married at a very young age. My mom was 14 years old, and they had 6 girls. كانوا يقولوا عنه حرام هالزلمة, شو بده يعمل بهال6 بنات. And he was looked at 6 girls. What a shame. What are they going to do? Because this is basically the life we lived back then. Am I still on? Did you lose me, guys? Can you hear me, Bilal?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, great. So as a girl, I could tell you that I have more memories as a little girl back home, more memories than in a bomb shelter than a park or going somewhere, or knowing that, you know, Lebanon has beautiful mountains and oceans. As a daughter of a man that fought really hard with my mother to raise 6 daughters and escaped Lebanon during the war to actually provide their daughters an opportunity. As a teenager, that I became a wife at the age of 15 years old, because back in the old days, that was very typical. As a mother, that became the best gift of my life was Michael and Stephanie. At the age of 16, 17 years old, I became the mom to the most amazing daughter, Stephanie, then Michael. The mother that escaped Lebanon with Stephanie when she was 10 months old in a back of a trunk during Harb back in the days. As a sister that became the strength to support all her 5 sisters mentally and emotionally because of what we've gone through. As a single mother after 20 years of marriage, that shaped me, my kids, Stephanie and Michael, that shaped me to be the mother I am today. As a cancer survivor and as a COVID survivor, that I've been struggling for 5 months with COVID, and I fight it every day. And I know that COVID didn't know that it was messing with the Lebanese blood, so I continued to fight it every day. As a self-made career woman who worked from dawn to dusk to provide for her family, and as someone that fights every day for what's right, I don't care where and when, it's always going after what's right. As someone that preaches equality and diversity, as a woman that is united in terms of believing in we are better together, it doesn't matter what your background is and what religion you have. As one that I'm so proud and loud despite all the failures that I have. And as a technology leader that believes and loves in the power of technology today more than ever, is impacting human progress. As a servant leader that believes in the power of three things. You learn it in life, you earn it, and you return it. My story was not a recipe for success, as I just gave you the background, but the path that I've taken has shaped me to be the daughter, the mother, the leader that I am today. Because you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. So if I would share my journey of success and what got me to where I am today, number one is in life, that was my backbone, is my family. People that took chances on me on Canada, that believed in me, that believed that I need to be a student of life. You have to take every experience as a learning. My past taught me how to be adaptable, resilient, and a go-getter. Nothing was served to me on a gold platter. I had to forge my own path in a very difficult way. I was called too passionate, too bossy, too aggressive. I was also called, you are successful just because of your good looks. And I was also called, when I walked into a meeting with one of my leaders, you're not the president, he is, because he was the man and I was the woman in the room. I had to prove that I have the full package, and I continued learning from it, because if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you're absolutely determined, you're unstoppable. But there's a catch there. You have to be able to unlearn as much as you learn. I could tell you that I look at myself like the iPhone, your iPhone with the software upgrade on it, that every bit we get a software upgrade to keep us up to date. And here I am. I went from Rola 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0, and I continue to do that, because what got me here is not necessarily what's going to get me moving forward in life. Second thing was the passion. I'm still told I'm very passionate. I am very passionate, but it has been my fuel. For me, my passion is people. The energy I get is all from people and impacting. It's the purpose that I have. Leaders are not just about how many people that you follow or they follow you and you get so popular. Leaders are all about leading with servant leadership from your heart, soul, and mind. It's your job is how do you go out there and impact and empower and get out of people's way to go and inspire others. And for me, it's be it the passion around mental health, the immigration, poverty, around advocating for women, around advocating for what is right and fighting systemic racism and fighting everything that we're going through. And for me, most importantly, how I use my platform in technology to ensure we're delivering technology is the enabler, but people are the true transformers. If you don't know your purpose, it's really hard. Follow your passion to get to your purpose, to get to the impact, and that is the most important thing when you always have the balance of the passion and execution. I'll tell you, in the old days as leaders, we used to look for people that have degrees in universities, and we'll just hire them based on that. I'm not telling anyone don't get your university degree, because I know Bilal and I talked about that. But what I'm saying that EQ today, which is your emotional quotient, has a priority when it comes to who you are as a leader, who you are as a human, and who you are as someone that needs to impact. EQ is the balance that you need with IQ and also with the AQ, with your adaptability. Because you could have the best degrees in the world, but you don't have the emotion to drive and impact. It's really hard to make a difference. The title was Comfort and Growth Don't Coexist, and that is what kept me going. My mentor said to me is, it doesn't matter how comfortable you get in the job, you know you will stop growing if you don't push yourself. When you are too comfortable, it's time to go. It's time to challenge yourself, and it's time to get ready to be uncomfortable. Surround yourself with people that will push you to grow, who will bring the best out of you, period. But also people that you can depend on and lean on. Your network is your net worth. My mentor pushed me so hard, and at the time I felt like, am I ever going to be good enough? But it served me well. When I moved from my job, when I came to Canada, I didn't speak a word of English. I started working in retail stores selling clothes. And then I thought, I need to be a businesswoman. I started working as a telemarketer, selling long distance to people. Then I moved to Dell. And in 5 years at Dell, before I came back and I left to Cisco, I went from an account manager to a director to a VP in less than 3 years. Then Cisco called me for the president and the CEO role, and I thought they were calling the wrong number because they turned me down 3 times. But that was what kept me going, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take in life. So one of the things that also I will give as an advice is believe. If I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't be where I am today. I need you to believe in yourself, believe in your strength, believe in your story, believe in who you are. Write that story, edit that story, own that story, because you're the only one that has the pen to edit the story and the power to make a difference. Take that shot every time, and it doesn't matter how tough it is. Be you, because everyone out there is taken. But be brave. Have the courage and be brave to see that change and be that change. My past never defined me. It shaped me and helped me to become me, because being me has served me and allowed other people to be comfortable being themselves around me. Let me tell you what my dad tells me all the time. Rola, life owes you nothing. Life is an opportunity for you to make the best of it. Life is now. Don't wait for a great life to be grateful. Let's just be grateful and our life will be great. But always remember, let that passion fuel your success and drive through it. And when you fall, get back up, because failing is an option to learn from, but giving up should never, ever, ever be your option. Thank you, Bilal, and we can open it up for questions.
Thank you so much, Rola, for this inspiring speech. We're going to open the floor for questions. Please enter your questions in the Q&A box. Say who you are, where you come from, and what you do. I'm going to start with a comment with a comment from Singapore, actually. And this is coming from Fan Man Fang. He said, super inspired by your personal journey. Your words are so bona fide, servant leadership, unstoppable, challenging the status quo, able to acknowledge, to unlearn. That is so powerful. Thank you, Rola. You keep all of us so encouraged.
Thank you.
The second one, there's no question here. This is from Razan. Excellent speech. I have one question. How can someone know what their passion is? I have heard a lot of things about going out there and finding it, but it is not that easy. I'm a person who is lazy and has a hard time working hard for a purpose.
So it starts by pushing yourself. I know a lot of times we all can get lazy, but we all have something inside of us that gets us up every day. The fact that you can get up and do what you do for life is a great starter. Finding your passion is what makes you happy, what energizes you, what gets you going. Why do we get up every morning, and what's the purpose that we have? It's in you somewhere. It's just you need to dig a little bit deeper to find that superpower of the passion. My passion is when I see a smile on someone's face that I impacted during my talk or my work, and seeing the fact that, people just commented that it's inspiring to hear these stories. My energy comes from that. So I know it's there somewhere. You just have to dig a little bit deeper and just force yourself to find the true you, because it's hidden inside. You just need to go out there and be uncomfortable of getting that power out. You're on mute, Bilal.
I have more comments, but let me go to a question from Dina Hakim Agha. What about despair? How can we revive our hopes in a country like Lebanon where everything seems and is failing? She's a sociologist at AUB and LAU.
So, Dina, correct? Did you say it was Dina? Dina, I feel your pain and I hear your voice through these distances, but I will tell you that I lived them when I was back there and I was so young. I lived during the war many times where we had to escape town to town. I never knew that you could be in one school. I probably moved 6 schools, the bomb shelter, you name it. I've seen people die right in front of my eyes, and I lost hope. But for somehow, when you have a strong belief in God that one day what's meant to be is meant to be, is what we need to continue to have. I will tell you, I did say, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. And that's what we need to continue, all of us, because I feel your pain in Lebanon. The strength that you need to continue to work with each other and together is what's going to keep Lebanon and Lebanese people surviving. Despite everything that happened, we've seen worse. And I will tell you, this will also pass. But the one thing is, you have to be there for each other. You have to continue to fight. And as much as we feel like we are defeated and we fail, failing is learning from what we need to do next to actually help us get out of it. Because the power of all of us is the struggle we're seeing today is going to be the power of all of us tomorrow. And that is something you need to continue to fight for, because it will get you through this.
Thank you. This question is from Dr. Zena Kaafarani from the Faculty of Medicine at AUB. She's infectious disease professor. Have you ever experienced what people call imposter syndrome, where you have an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be?
I absolutely love you. That's an awesome question. And the answer is yes, all the time. In fact, I talk to my sisters and, they have great jobs and we're like, am I good enough? I don't have a university degree. How did I get to a C-suite? How did I get to be a president? How did I get to be the global channel chief for the largest company in the world? And you know what? I actually, even now, I'm like, did I do it well? What didn't I do? Why are people? And I stopped. I just turned 50. I have to tell you, the power that's in me now is actually starting to believe what people think of me is not my business anymore. What I know and I need to do is believe in myself more, because believing in you is going to get you where you need to be. Believing in you is going to give you that confidence. Yes, it gets to a point where you feel down. Think about it, but don't let it defeat you, because those moments, I'll tell you, not just as a woman, as a man, it's what men as well think about. Oh, am I good enough? I need reassurance. I need this. I need that. And when we go through so much in life, and I have to tell you now, even though 5 months later, the COVID virus hit me, and 5 months later that I'm still struggling with it, and I'm dealing through the long hauler symptoms, and it got to a point thinking, wow, this could literally finish my career. I tell you that I'm grateful every day that I'm fighting and I'm the survivor that I am today, because that's what's going to get you to where you need to be.
Thank you, Rola. In fact, we had agreed to have your mentoring talk last November, and we had to postpone it because you had COVID. Alhamdulillah, salami.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this question is from Rain Zankar, an undergrad student at AUB. If you had a rewind button, what would you change about your journey?
I would not change anything, because my journey actually got me to where I am today. And despite all the challenges and, my cancer, my COVID, being a single mom after 20 years, the war, everything helped me and shaped me to be who I am today. The one thing I would change is me stop thinking about what people think of me. Stop living life for me more than, and especially in the Lebanese culture, in the Arab Middle East world, we are viewed based on what people think of us. I want to be able to live my life in knowing that what I did is actually to inspire and to impact people. I don't want to live anymore worrying about what people are going to say about me or my family. And my family, my sisters, my mom and dad, my kids are my rock. They're everything I am today. And the people that took chances on me, those are the people that you really need to surround yourself with. So I would change. I wish I started taking care of my mental health first by believing in me more, and by taking care of my physical health, because that was the biggest mistake that got me to, as my health started kind of going down as I got older, because I did not take care of my health the way I should. So live yourself for you first and everybody else.
Thank you. Tufi Imrat, chemistry undergrad student at AUB. I often blame myself for not being able to do much during the current pandemic, although I try my best. Okay, I lost the question. The world seems to be opposing me each time. How did you find the door of hope during your time in the war while everything was going down? You went up.
So, great question. I'll give you the question that just recent, and then I'll take you back. I tend to not live for the past, because the past brings nothing but sadness and really a lot of anxiety around what I went through personally. And I don't live for the future of thinking what's going to happen tomorrow, where do I need to be, what do I have to do, because the future is unknown. I tend to live for the moment in each moment that I have, because I don't know when life is going to end for any of us, because living now and life is now will teach you and will teach us how to be the best and bring the best out of us today. So how did I fight is I never lost hope. COVID has been the toughest so far for me, where when I was in the hospital in isolation, and I'm still struggling now, and you can hear it in my voice that I couldn't even speak for 2 months. And it impacted every part of my body and every organ. The one thing I kept saying, I can do this. I'm going to fight harder. I can wake up every day, and I know this shall pass. And that is what you need to think about, is your thoughts can control your life. Think positive about what I need to do now to get me out of it, and be in survival mode. There's two things that I live by right now. Gratitude, because I'm still alive and I'm breathing and I'm out of the hospital. Two is survival mode, because you have to put your mind into that survival mode to get through anything and everything. And once you control your thoughts, you'll get to where you need to be, but never lose hope.
Thank you. This question is coming from Leah Al-Hello. What are some pointers you'd give on how... Okay, I lost the question again because more questions are coming. Let me repeat it again. Leah Al-Hello, what are some pointers you'd given on how to deal with self-doubt?
That was the same question that was just asked earlier, that the Imposter Syndrome is just believe in yourself and go out there. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take in life. Be who you are, because this is who you are and got you to where you are now. You have to always ensure that you're in that learning and unlearning. And then when you get to a point that you know what are your faults, work on them. But at the same time, don't lose confidence and ability in yourself to go out there and be the best. And find a mentor that's going to allow you to be more disciplined, get out of your comfort zone, and then find people that are positive around you where they're going to be there no matter what. And my favorite saying is, a lot of people want to ride the limo with you. So anybody would want to ride that wave of the limousine with you. But what you need is to go out there and find people that are going to take the bus with you when the limousine breaks down. And that's the most important part. And that's when you know what your worth is to anybody around you.
I like the comparison. This question is from Nada Ismail. As a CEO, what skills do you look for, develop in your people? What skills should we master in today's challenging world? Nada is from the engineering management. She's an engineering management student at the UB.
Your people skill is number one, period, full stop. Your servant leadership skills above everything. Your emotional skills today more than ever. As leaders, as people, you need to be more visible, more empathetic, and more vulnerable. Because a lot of people can go and tell their stories about their life, but I'm vulnerable for me to tell you all this about me, because I know as a servant leader and as the person that I am today, someone out there is going to get inspired and be helped by the words that I said. So what you need is work on your emotional skills and ensure that you're using those during a pandemic and to connect with people that are going to help you and appreciate you for who you are. And the other skill that also is listening skills. I'm not the best at it, and I try to work hard at it. Listen to understand. Don't listen to speak. Don't listen to judge. And don't listen to criticize. And us Lebanese people, I love how we just want to jump and want to talk, and because this is in our blood. But the more we listen to understand, especially now more than ever, where people are struggling with a lot of mental health, ask the question, how are you doing today? And pause and let people tell you how they feel. So those are some of the things that we need to work on today more than ever.
Very well said. This question is from Nayiri Vahradian. Thank you for the talk. I am Nayiri from AUB. Having support system is very important. How can someone find support system where no family member, friend supports? How to create that network?
Good question. I've been blessed of having an amazing family and a big family. I have my sisters. I have my kids are my rock. My daughter has been my life coach, especially lately. She's been everything to me, and my son. And I have to tell you that from a work perspective as well, I go find them. So when I found my mentor, I did not go out there and got tapped on the shoulder and says, you know, here, then just pick and choose. I went after people that I admire. I went after people that I get inspired by, and I go after people that are actually smarter than me. So when you find yourself in a room where you're the only smart person, you got to run fast and go out and find somewhere in the world that people are smarter. So you have to be the disruptor. You have to be the one instigating and going after someone that you admire and say, I'd love to have half an hour of your time so I could tell you my story because you inspire me. So you need to go out there and find those people. And it doesn't matter who they are. I'm not saying let's just go directly to the United States of America, the President, Joe Biden, and tell him, hey, you know, I want to go and have a session with you. I'm saying people in your network, people that you work with. Could be it could be the president of the university, it could be a dean. You miss 100% of the shots if you don't take them. And going by asking, you can go to Bilal and say, hey, I need half an hour. So you got to find those people because they're out there. But our job is to dig deeper and go and find them.
This question is from Rain Obaid. What did you say to yourself when you were facing life's challenges?
I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
Thank you. This question is from Natalie Harb, biology undergraduate student at AUB. We often hear about how women struggle to achieve their goal in life. However, did being a woman give you an advantage at some point in your life?
So today, being a woman is a great thing. So I have to tell every woman on the call now that being a woman is the perfect time for you to go out there and push the agenda and be vocal, be loud and be proud. But don't use the woman card as, because when the movement of the women started, people were using it and abusing it because it takes away from women that are actually really struggling with being themselves. So using the woman card is to encourage you to go out there and show your worth. Did it stop me? When I was younger in my career, like I said in my intro, is I was told I was too emotional, I was too passionate, I was too bossy. And guess what? When I got to be the boss, I said, I'm not bossy, I am the boss, right? And then I got to a point where they told me that, because of your looks, you are where you are today. And it is absolutely tough. But guess what? Today, more than ever, I walk into a room where I am so confident that being a woman is the right and the smartest thing to be for any organization and any business. And that's why more than ever I say, be loud, be proud, but don't ever forget the father that raised you, the brother that protected you, the husband, the partner that stood by your side, because this is not a war on women and men. This is how we do it better together.
Thank you. This question is by Muhammad Badr Al-Zir. He's engineering management graduate student at AUB. Have you ever prone to any kind of bullying because of your personality, and how could you overcome this?
And the answer is yes, but they messed with the wrong person. So I was bullied at school. I was bullied at my earliest job. I mean, I give you an example. The example was when I started working in the corporate world in my early career, because of being Lebanese, around Christmas time and the holidays, they did the Kris Kringle where they actually gave gifts to people, but you didn't know it was a secret Santa gift. So all the girls on the team, they got Barbies and dolls, and they gave me a gun as a joke. They gave me a plastic toy gun. And they said, oh, you come from Lebanon, so you must be a terrorist. So just so you know, that was an interesting moment when I opened the gift and I saw, and that person ran so fast because they were so worried for themselves, because I told them exactly what they needed to hear. But that is life. But did that stop me or worry me about, being out there and not saying I'm Lebanese and I'm proud and I'm a tough cookie and sure, bring it on. So I was bring it, so we have to be able to stand up for who we are and never forget our roots, because our roots, our culture, our religion is what made us us.
This question is from Nizar Shaya. Your journey is inspiring and your words are very powerful for our generation. How do you continuously grow and develop your character, and how do you stay motivated to achieve even more despite your success? Nizar is a graduate student at the Faculty of Medicine at AUB.
What keeps me going is my family. What keeps me going is the change I'm able to have the courage to make and be. What keeps me motivated is the fact that the empowerment, the ultimate power is empowering others. And I know that every day I go and empower others. I talked about learn it, earn it, and return it. And I've learned everything, and I continue to learn, and I continue to read things that interest me and listen to things. And I learn from people that I respect truly. If I'm having a conversation with someone, I could basically learn and absorb. I'm like a sponge, because you trust some source and you just learn it. You continue to earn everything in life, because I have so much to still learn, because I'm nowhere to where I need to be to give back more. And then I continue to earn that position in terms of where I am in life. And then once you get to that point, it's time for me is return it back to my people, to the community, to everyone, because that is what keeps me going, is the fact that I'm able to help others. The fact when the Beirut explosion happened, how we started the motion in Canada around the Lebanese coalition, and we raised $55 million for Beirut. And by the way, did you see I'm wearing Beirut Rise from the Ashes? So I wore that for you guys today. But this is what keeps me going, is the fact that we were able to get together a bunch of Lebanese people in Canada and go out there and do that. I'm able to help, less fortunate people, because I could tell you one thing that I learned really quickly, especially in the past few months. No matter how big your title is, no matter how much money you have, no matter how nice as your car is and where you come from and all the luxurious stuff, nothing else matters in life but your health and the way you made people feel and the way you inspired others.
Thank you. This question is coming from Let me hear from Suha. How do you build courage?
It's in my blood. Lebanese معك. What do you mean? How do we build courage? Lebanese, just take it and go. It's like, you fall, you get up, you dust your knees. I mean, 6 girls. My dad raised 6 girls. We didn't have a chance to feel sorry for ourselves. Every time, I remember in the town that I lived, because I was a girl, there were boys around me, my cousins, and we would be playing. And if someone beat me up, or they, and I would go home, and if I was crying, Dad would be like, go back out there, go kick their asses, and then come home. So all the boys in the town were concerned about me. And when they go to their parents and say, Rola hit me, and they were like little, they will be like, what, you got hit by a girl? So you build the courage yourself. It's in your blood. It's who you are. And once you feel defeated, you always have to go out there and find that person, that something in life that's going to get it out of you. And like I said, more than ever now, I feel like I need more courage to go out there and be the change and see the change and disrupt and have a much broader voice, because I have a voice. I just need to see and feel people around me that hear my voice and empower my voice to be where I need to be and inspire a lot of them. So you got it, girl. It's out there. Just dig deep.
This question is by Karen Hanoush. You're such an inspiration. Just a question, how could you distinguish between the lack of comfort that should push you forward and the one that is sign that you are on the wrong track?
So this, when you feel it, like if you're on the right track or the wrong track. A lot of us could be on the wrong track for a long time, but don't have the courage to make the change because we don't have any other options. I'll give you an example. I was married for 20 years. I knew it was wrong, and I stayed on the track because I didn't have any options. I'm Lebanese. There's no divorces in the Catholic community, and what would people say about me? And I stayed for 20 years because I didn't think I had the courage to do it. But in 20 years, I did finally have the courage because I wanted to provide my kids a better life. How did I find the courage is I have a very strong faith. My faith always helped me and guided me to be where I am today. It's very important that you believe in the power of God, the power of what you have, because I look at where I am today, and if it wasn't for the prayers of my family and my mother and father around me and my belief in my faith, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I had the courage to make the difficult decision despite all the criticism. And I knew that I was on the wrong track for 20 years. How do I know I'm on the right track? You feel it because you wake up every day knowing you want to do more for people.
Thank you. This question is from Carla Reese. Hopefully I said her last name correctly. Do you practice any specific technique to keep your energy, positivism and motivation up, like meditation, running, reading, relaxation? And she's thanking you.
Oh, good question. So before, I just turned 50 in December. Before that, I've never done anything at all. I'm not athletic, nothing at all. My energy and my motivation and my fuel is my family. So I have my sisters and I have 10 nieces and nephews, and they're all under the age of 10 years old. So they keep me going, and I work Monday to Friday like crazy, and we used to travel like crazy. In the weekends, I refuel by seeing my nieces and nephews and my sisters and my kids. My daughter gives me the balance of life where I stay on the track. But I just actually, before I got hit with COVID, I got a bike, a Peloton bike, and I was biking for 6 months, and I loved it because it was doing a lot of mental kind of therapy for me, which was so good. So I do that. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to exercise because of my COVID recovery, but I love the outdoors. I walk a lot, and I have a bike outside that I go and bike, just like Dahr al-Mghara, where I used to bike like a little girl and fall many times, and I had broken legs and arms, and that's where it started. So being on the bike, it just really helps me. I don't read a lot of books. I read a lot about people that interest me.
This question is from Soha Maidan. Soha is the Associate Vice President for Advancement and University Events at AUB. Her question, I put her title, she didn't put it in her question. Give us an example when you failed at doing something and how you dealt with the situation.
Okay, great question. And by the way, Bilal, I am so impressed by all these women on the call, their titles and with the faculties, and it's amazing. Like I would have never thought back in the days you would hear so many female leaders on one call in Lebanon. So I'm so proud of that. And I'm, of course, proud of all the men on the call too, but I have to give props to all the wonderful ladies that are asking the questions. So the example I will give you is I made a mistake between my first job at Dell. I was there for 15 years. I was diagnosed with cancer, and I actually panicked because as a single mom after 20 years, I had to raise my kids on my own, but then I wanted to make more money. So I left a 15-year job, 15 years of being in a job and comfortable, right, to go and work for a company because they offered me more money. So I was thinking, I need to make more money. What if I get sicker? I have 2 kids in university, single mom, lots of debt because, I started from the bottom, like when I came here, not even anything in that I have. So I made the decision to take this job at a smaller company, and I was there for 9 months. I made the decision because I wanted to make more money. I didn't make the decision for my career development because I thought, you know what, it's more money, that's all that matters. But oh my God, it was so quick when I knew and I saw that it doesn't matter how much money you can get paid, but if you don't love what you do. So I failed horribly at that role, and it was 6 months of me, like, didn't even want to leave the house to go to the office or do that job. But I also, out of that failure, it was the biggest learning ever that helped me understand the difference between the change for the sake of change, the change in the moves for the sake of money versus the change you need to make towards an impact and purpose driven. So now everything I need to make is all around purpose driven. And as you get up and move up in the world, you'll learn more about, okay, I learned from that failure, I can't do that. And I learned tons from a personal failures. I mean, my kids tell me, like my daughter now lives with me at home, and if I do something, she'll be, Mom, did you just say that? And she's 32. And she teaches me every day how to be more proper, say the right thing and the wrong thing. So, but all those failures is just helps you and shapes you to be who you are today. But just one thing that as much as you can fail in life, I mean, if you're failing at the same thing all the time, the exact same thing, then you're doing something wrong. But if you're failing at trying different things is absolutely an option for you to learn from, but just giving up should never, ever, ever a thought in your mind.
Thank you. This question is from Reem Yassin, PhD student in mechanical engineering at AUB. She's thanking you for the amazing talk. And then her question, I would like to know, how do you regain the energy and effort consumed in beating cancer? I know that you would not be able to do any work.
So my cancer was 10 years ago, and I survived it. It took me about, I would say, 3 to 4 months hardcore, like hospitals and treatments and all of that. But again, it's one word, determination. determination and perseverance. Like I was determined. Yes, I get that. I was in bed. I would be trying to get through this in my head and saying, okay, it's just a glitch. It's just a bump in the road. So, the roads that we go through are not flat all the time. They have bumps and they have peaks and valleys, right? And that was one of my valley moments. And then it helped me and then got me back up to the peak. And now with COVID, same thing. I mean, I made the decision to leave a job at Cisco. I loved my job at Cisco, and 3 weeks because I had a much better opportunity to learn at a global level and come back to Dell with such an awesome opportunity. And then 3 weeks into it, I get COVID and I go into isolation in the hospital. And you think to yourself, wow, that's another peak. But then you fight through it. You get up every day and you're like, let's go again. The one thing is, as hard as it hits you, it's always a test of your ability and determination to get through it. So one word, determination.
This question is from Rabi Hassan. I'm amazed of your positive way of seeing things and spreading hope. How to manage if you are full of passion and positiveness and see many around you frustrating your future? How can you change close-minded approaches and selfishness? We are all in Lebanon proud of your achievements, and we miss many leaders like you.
Thank you, Habibi. Such a great question. It goes back to you got to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. You got to surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. And you got to surround yourself with people that could get you through it. It is hard because, especially now in Lebanon, you guys are living such a tough time. And it's heartbreaking because it doesn't matter which side of the world you're on. The global pandemic has hit us really hard, physically and mentally. But Lebanon has been going through a pandemic and multiple viruses, from the government viruses to fighting poverty to now, the explosion. And it just feels like Lebanon gets down and down and down and down. But I look at all of you, and you guys are just strong people. You are strong, and you know that being strong has to be the only option that you have. So I would tell you is just surround yourself around all these positive people. And when you find yourself in an environment where people are not being there for you, or it's toxic, just think of where you need to be and who are the right people that are going to help you and lift you up.
Thank you. This question is from Dr. Rola Dagher. She's librarian at the Faculty of Medicine. Thank you for the inspiring story. Have you ever thought of coming back to Lebanon? If yes, how do you plan to give back / return to people of your community?
Great question. So my entire family is here. I have a sister back home. And I have to tell you, after COVID, I've never thought, before COVID, I never thought I could actually go back and live in Lebanon, because I've been there 3 times in 30 years. And every time I go, قلبي بحن على لبنان. I love being Lebanese, but I love being in Lebanon. So after COVID, I was actually telling my kids that I don't mind going back to Lebanon and find a home where I could split my time between Lebanon and Canada. And when we founded the Lebanese Coalition and we raised $55 million for Lebanon, it was the best gift and accomplishment I could ever have achieved with the people here to give back to Lebanon. I'm involved with the Toronto Region Immigration here. I'm involved with a lot of community here. And in Canada to help as much as I can. And for me, my goal in life when I retire is to go back and give every little girl and a boy an opportunity to be educated in Lebanon. And the less fortunate people in Lebanon is my dream to go and build a culture of hope, a culture of taking it back to simple and the humbleness of Lebanese people. So that is my dream. And as my father says, Ashit and Allah, that would be something that I would want to go and do, and make sure I work with the right people in Lebanon, right-minded people that could help me achieve that by helping and giving back to the Lebanese hopeless people.
I know that your executive assistant, Erica, has given you 90 minutes, so we still have around 10 minutes or so. Thank you so much. There are so many questions, and I am hoping that I'll be able to run through them in the remaining time. So this question is coming from Mary Noel Salem. A few years ago, my passions led me to the career I currently have. Now I work in my field. I am less passionate about it. How do I know if I am still on the right career path or if I need to explore other career options? And her career is education.
Education, sorry, she's an engineer?
No, she's in education. I asked her privately, what is your field? And she said education.
Okay.
Science educator. She just wrote to me, science educator.
Okay, awesome. So being an educator now more than ever is extremely tough, especially with the remote learning. But I have to say, if you find yourself in a position where you're not seeing a difference and an impact and a purpose in what you're doing, it's never too late to go find what your superpower is with what you have. So it is difficult for me to kind of say, if there's a doctor that wants to get up tomorrow and say, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, I want to go be, an IT technologist or a sales leader, right? Or I want to be an actress, right? If they have the passion, they have the money, they can afford it, they can go pursue it and they can do that. But from being an educator, I would say look at what's out there that does not have a direct relation in terms of like you doing the traditional stuff and what you can do from the new digital world that we're having. You are extremely smart. You went to school. You have a degree. How do you go out there and build a digital education platform that could help remote kids that are in need, for example? How can you build a platform based on what you have and the experience you built to make a difference? Because you can transform the way you've done things traditionally and evolve into what you need to be based on how the world is moving. So I would say that. But then if your passion is not education, period, then you got to go find what is your, if education is not your passion, period, then you got to find what is it exactly that you need and try it, pursue it. I mean, like I said, you fail at it, then, but again, it goes back to the responsibilities you have. Can you afford to do that and take a chance on doing a year abroad of doing something? Or do you wait till, things just settle down? But I would say take every opportunity to explore.
Thank you. So I have here from Yasmin and Suli. Rola continues to lead through empathy and empowered. Thank you for being such an inspiration. She's an AUB alumnus, and she worked for you apparently.
Yeah.
What is your next trip to? When is your next trip to Lebanon? And what is your first? I lost the question. When is your next trip to Lebanon? What is the first thing you would do when you go?
So Yasmin and Suli is someone that I met 3.5 years ago at Cisco, and I wouldn't be who I am today without her guidance. She's the best thing that ever happened to me at Cisco. She's the best thing that happened to me from being a Lebanese young leader that is so inspired to make a difference. Not Gaddafi is Yasmin, because I adore her to pieces. And I looked at her journey 3 years ago to where she was and where she is today. She's the epitome of comfort and growth don't coexist. And Yaz, the minute I decide to go to Lebanon, I'm going with you. And Yaz, the minute I decide to go and give 100% back to Lebanon, I'm going to run for president, and I'm going to put Yaz my vice president.
Okay. We're not going to go into politics.
No.
This question is from Antoine Assa. What took you up to top? Is it your technical skills mainly, or did you have distinguished leadership skills that helped you going up?
I would say my emotional quotient, my street smart, my determination, the fighter in me. That's what got me to where I'm not giving up. I mean, so many times the question that was asked before is like, did you ever think of changing your career? Oh my God. At one point I thought, I'm done with this. Like, I need to do something else. What do I do? Right. But what kept me going is the determination that I knew I had it in me. And you get to a point where you kind of question yourself, but I would say my EQ above my IQ was absolutely the success criteria for me, and just the determination in that and never give up attitude.
This question is from Diane Tal. As a single mom, did you ever thought of going back to a married life that would support you?
Absolutely not. It's crazy. It's been 15 years. First of all, I was in a married life for 20 years where I supported the married life. So it was the opposite. I never had the traditional way of anything. I never thought about it. It's been 15 years. It's because my kids are my life. And I know my kids are older now. I never went out there and looked. But if it happens one day and, you know, you find Prince Charming, maybe, but I'm not looking. I'm just very content with what I have, with my family and my career, and I'm blessed. It would be nice if you meet someone, but if you don't, then I have great people in my life that help me be what I need to be.
This is Grace Aguti. Thank you for your time. I would like to know if it will be possible to share your social media handles. I can answer you that. On Twitter, it is @Rola Dagher. No space, no underscore. I feel like I would like to connect with you. I really have a lot of questions and things to learn from you. Thank you. Yumna Saadi, you're such an inspiration. She's undergrad student at AUB. You're such an inspiration. Thank you for this amazing mentoring talk. Do you think that you would have had this courage and determination if it wasn't for your kid? Your kids, she has 2 kids.
Yeah, I have 2 kids. I've always been a tough cookie. I've actually, out of the 6 girls, they thought my dad had 5 girls and a boy, because they looked at me as I was like the boy of the family, and my father raised me that I looked exactly like a boy, cut my hair like a boy. So I was pretty much a tomboy and really tough. So I've always had that courage of like go out there, like a go getter. Would I be who I am today without my kids? Never. They taught me every day how to be a better person, a better mom, a better daughter, a better sister, and a better leader. They are the best thing that ever happened to me. The biggest accomplishment of my career is not my title, where I am today. It's the biggest accomplishment of raising Stephanie and Michael.
We're running out of time, so this is going to be the last question. Thank you so much for this inspiring talk. And Diane has another question. What do you say for Lebanese people saying that they don't want to be resilient? Because it seems the more resilient we are, the more pressure we get.
So I hear you, and I did not use the word resilient because I think Lebanese people are exhausted of being resilient. And to me, resilient is a strong word, but it's exhausting for you guys today. The word that I would use for all of you is believe and hope. Just believe in you. Believe in it. Just stop for a second of thinking about the outside world and continue to believe in the power that you can make and have a difference. It doesn't matter which situation we're in. What's meant to be is meant to be. Things happen in your life for a reason, at the right time, and you meet people in your life in different ways for a lifetime, for a season, and a reason. And you never know. You just need to keep that hope because you never know when that moment is going to come. And then your life could change. I had no idea. Someone asked me, would I be where I am today? I would be like, I don't know what you're drinking, but there's no way. But all I knew that I had determination and hope and belief in what's next.
Thank you so much, Rola, for such an inspiring mentoring talk. I really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are. I know how hard we worked on making it work, this mentoring talk. And on behalf of all attendees, I want to thank you sincerely for joining us and appreciate every single advice that you have given to all of the attendees, particularly the young minds among them. And I'm not gonna unhide all of them to upload for you, so I'm gonna upload for you on behalf of all attendees. And I want to thank also my team, the Transformative Education team, for all their help. Every single one of them for making this work as well. And until our next mentoring talk on March 1st, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. Beirut time, because our next speaker is a celebrity who lives in California. So it will be 9 a.m. in the morning in California. I'll be disclosing who it is later in the week. But once again, thank you, Rola. And we will be in touch. Thank you so much.
Bilal, just one thing before you go, on all of you. Min kil qalbi, I thank you all for giving me this opportunity. And I know you said that it was hard because, you never gave up, and I have to give you this. You never gave up on me, so I'm grateful for that. But I have to say that as much as we are all far apart now, there is no better time for all of us to be there for each other. I value the Lebanese people that have been many roles in their life, in us as people, as women, as men. We've been the protectors, we've been the providers, we've been the fighters. But what you need to remember now more than ever is what you need to value in you the most is the survivor. I told you earlier that I used the two words, gratitude and survivor. put yourself in survivor mode and be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, because right now, all you need is each other, and all you need is to remember the struggle that we go through today will be the power of all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and God bless Lebanon.
Before you go, I want to show you. So this is the wall behind, okay, and your picture right now is hanged among all of the speakers. I hope you can see it.
I see it, yes.
Okay, so you're number 16. And I was told by one of the mentors, previous mentors, Professor Omar Farha from Northwestern University, he told me, your wall is running out of space. You need a new wall. So your poster will always be hanging here at AUB, and we are very grateful to everything you have said and to all your advices. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.